Hello,
Cejudo.
and welcome to Kickin In Crocs, the podcast. Where we talk about geek stuff, martial arts stuff. I had said it backwards. Damn it, we gotta start all over again.
No, just go with it.
Rishabuda.
Roll with it.
Rishabuda. Rishabuda.
Bushuda?
No.
I tried to reverse it. I get Shabuda.
This is Kickin Across the podcast. We talk about martial arts stuff, geeky stuff, and all sorts of stuff. My name is Steve, one half of Kickin In Crocs.
I'm Dave, the other half of Kickin In Crocs. Cheers.
I'm Nick, the shadow half, back in action, kicking with Crocs.
Yay, Nick is back from his cruise. Let's go.
Nick is back. Guess who's back? Back again.
How was your cruise, good sir?
Awesome.
I always feel like I talk quieter in your basement.
Yeah.
You do.
You got everybody sleeping upstairs, and I'm like,
You do.
Yeah,
They can't hear us.
I know, but it's just that,
You know what's funny, though? You can hear them, but they won't hear you. It's weird. So you can actually hear straight up from the second floor sometimes through the vents. Yeah.
Interesting.
So,
Creepy.
yeah, very creepy.
Good to know.
It's weird, only from the one side of the house. But anyway, the cruise is great. Went on a Royal Caribbean cruise.
I was wondering which one it was.
Royal
I didn't know it was
Caribbean.
Carnival.
Yeah, he told us Royal Caribbean before he left.
It's like a floating city.
So this one is the Oasis.
Yeah.
The Oasis. It's not their newest ship, but it's a completely refurbished. They're currently their largest ship on the water right now for them, and it's definitely family friendly. Made.
Were you worried about icebergs?
Completely. I couldn't sleep at night. Even with the temperature being 94 degrees. Nerve-wracking. No,
the kids have you guys all have the same cabin.
No, so
kids
we
are on
got.
their own.
So if you're ever booking a cruise, the sooner, the more advanced you can book it, the better it is for you.
This was booked in 1922.
Yes. Yep. Exactly.
It was
when
booked
my
on
great grandfather was interested in it. The companies, especially nowadays coming out of COVID, are constantly listing more specials, and they're very comfortable swapping out your current program or your current pricing for an adjusted. So if a discount comes up and you're like, oh, I missed the discount, I paid higher, 2 months ago, it doesn't matter. They'll honor the new discount every single time.
Yeah.
So we ended up getting a room, and then we saw a discount pop up, and we were able to get 2 rooms for less than the cost of one. So the kid and they were adjoining. Yeah. It was an adjoining, the one door that opens. We were able to extend our patio on the outside because we had a patio on the outside.
Right.
To both rooms. Kids got their own beds. We had our own space, extra space to put your stuff away. It was really easy that way. It was cool as we went with a lot of other families. There's about 21 of us that went all together.
We must have missed that invite.
Yeah,
I'm checking my phone right now.
it's on there. Keep looking. So don't hold your breath. So when we went out with all the different families, there was multiple kids besides just mine. They can go back to the rooms, play cards, play video games, watch shows. They didn't have to just constantly with the adults where they felt bored or tired for certain things.
Plus, the adults got their adult time.
Yes and no. Our adult time ended up being kid times. Like we did laser tag. We were playing basketball.
That's the best kind of adult time.
It was.
It's doing kid things without the kids there.
Laser tag.
Yeah, laser tag. Well, it was funny. So one of the groups that was there were a father and son from Italy, and the son had never played laser tag ever. And he's 16 years old. So he's like prime speed, age. It was really great. But he got put on the side with 2 adults and then most of the kids. And then our team, which I was on, was almost all adults. And he didn't know which way was up because we have all played the game a couple times. So we hunted him down. I was ruthless. No. I took first position.
Did you trash talk him in Italian?
Well, any language he wanted. He understood. Body language.
Say buongiorno to my little friend.
Well, Italians talk most with their hands anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
So I had a gun in one hand and the conversation in the other. Very
aggressive. And we do have lots of videos and pictures and stuff in the cruise with some Crocs.
Yeah.
So this week, I think.
On our filler episode, our 30.5 episode of the podcast, we gave you a mission.
Yeah.
Give you a mission to find people wearing Crocs on that cruise ship and get them to throw a kick on the spot right there. And you delivered. You gave us quite a few.
We got some pictures and things to post, so we're going to call that Shadow on the Seas.
Yeah. Or
something
we'll do like a little carousel with the pictures, or maybe we want to spread them out. We'll see.
We'll spread them out.
We'll see what we do. But any funny stories? Anything interesting happening that was like, I got to tell the guys about this. Cool.
So my first group, which were the 2 older guys, the 2 older kids. I think there was 18 and 22 or something like that. The one was real. It was a little bit of like a shocker because they're like, "Oh, you can take a picture of the shoes." I'm like, "Yo, how would you feel about throwing a kick? I can show you. Don't worry about how great it looks. Just have some fun with it.
Just throw it."
And it took him a couple seconds. Then he's like, "No, okay, I'll do it." Then his other friend, the one with the longer dark hair, came up right away. He's like, "Oh yeah," and he throws this kick super high above his friend's head.
Yeah.
And then their dad, one of the fathers, is sitting there. And he's like, "Can I do it without getting up?" And I was like, "Yeah, you can just sit right there." He goes, "But I don't have a croc. So I don't know if I'm going to post that one, but I'd love to see you throw a kick anyway." So I didn't send you guys that video, but I have it. I could always send it, but it was out of croc.
We'll edit a croc onto him.
or put a
Motion
emoji
tracking.
over it to like, sorry, not croc related.
Yep. Sorry. So sorry.
And then some of the staff members, some of them had Crocs, some of them had frocks. So I got a picture of someone with a Croc.
That counts.
Yep. Then there was a couple little kids that were up for it, but it was tough because, again, like I said, this was a family cruise, so a lot of the times the kids weren't with their parents.
Right.
But I didn't want to seem like a creeper. Like, hey, I'm this guy.
I had that problem at the water park too.
Yeah.
I had that problem at the water park too.
Yep.
So I was like,
When it comes to kids, yeah, you definitely. I think you made the right call there.
I had that problem at the water park too, where I was like, I can't just go up to this 5-year-old.
Hey, but they have the cooler ones. They have the cooler Crocs.
Yeah.
They have all the.
I was
all the gibbets.
when I was at the hospital. All the nurses wear Crocs. So
Yes.
I was like, so tempted. I'm like, that seems like bad time.
I think Kelsey
best time
would
to
have
celebrate
gotten
together.
out of the bed. Kelsey would have
Hey,
gotten
my wife's
out
in
of the
labor,
hospital
but can you
bed.
take a minute to throw a kick for me? I gotta give her this medicine. Yeah.
She
In a
would have
minute.
strangled
She's
you.
fine, she's fine,
With
she's
her IV, with the what is it?
Sure,
The
she-
morphine drip. She would have
Oh.
strangled you with
No
it.
morphine drip.
No morphine drip.
No,
Okay,
they'll
cool.
give her morphine.
Okay.
Not
She
for.
had,
God, I
she,
hope
had an
not.
she had an epidural, but
Yes, that's what they get.
yeah, they give you fluid first. She had fluid for a while, but yeah, I can't imagine like. Hey,
She would have.
So I have the
Murdered
one
you.
little girl, right? The mom was right next to eating ice cream, so I went there. No, once you explain it within seconds, right? They usually, and I had the website on the phone,
Yeah.
like the YouTube channel. So I showed
Okay,
them right
cool,
away. I'm
cool.
like, hey, this is me.
This is me on it, guys. Look, I'm famous.
Well, that's the thing is, like, anybody can show you anything, right? But once
Yeah.
you say, like, this is my direct to feel like I'm on the
Yeah.
page. You can
Your
see it in
face
the
is there,
videos.
yeah.
So that was cool. Then Todd wanted to throw up a kick. So he threw his chamber. He's like, how's my chamber? I'm like, I'm taking a picture of that. It looks great.
I don't think I got all those.
I did.
Yeah, there's one.
He sent them to you.
They're in there.
Are they?
You know
He
what it
text
was?
chained it.
It was one of those ones where there was like four behind each other.
Yeah,
So
yeah. You had
open
to
it.
Oh, it's
slide.
in the
You had to
text.
scroll
It's in
through
the
it.
text.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll have to look
He
at it.
texted. He didn't Snapchat those.
And then
Got
let's see what else when it came to. I mean, so a lot of people were at the table. So we had folks that I only have hung out with a couple times with Carolyn and family.
Yep.
But this is our first time actually spending.
You sent one picture of Carolyn, and I was like, gross. And you're like, that's it. No more Carolyn.
Never again.
Like,
Oh,
I
it
know
was
what you
great.
like. Get no other Carolyn pictures.
We had such a great time. So it was really, and hats off to Carolyn who set up the entire agenda. It was excellent. But some of them don't have Crocs. So when they heard of the site at dinner, we were talking about it. They're like, well, I want Crocs, but I want you to follow me getting my Crocs. I want my first experience to be with you guys, which is what you guys did with me. And I'm like, I'll talk to the guys, and either I could go and pre-record it, and then they can edit it, or we can all go together if they feel like going to the the outlets. So we were gonna try to buy Crocs on the cruise. That would have been really cool.
You said you sent the picture of there being the vendor there. I was like,
The vendor was
amazing.
in the Bahamas,
Oh,
and they were
okay.
closed because it was Emancipation Day, so it was very few vendors actually open.
Oh.
But then they had a Croc
Freedom.
sale. So check this out, Cry now, $9.49 for a pair of Crocs. I was like super excited.
What?
Except they told me the wrong day. It was the day before. So when I went that morning, I was there at 10 o'clock for an opening of 10:30. I see them setting everything up, and I don't see any Crocs anywhere. I'm like, maybe they're waiting until the last minute because of the price. The guy's like, oh, no. Did you see the mad rush of people yesterday? I said, yeah, it was 2-for-1 T-shirts. I wasn't interested. I figured he's like, yeah, well, in the middle of that, we pulled out the Crocs, and they were gone like that. And because they wanted the experience to be, that would have been great, right?
Yeah.
First time getting Crocs
crazy.
on a cruise.
And they cost like
Cruising with
money.
Crocs.
Cruising in Crocs. That's what we got to call it. Not Shadow on the Seas. It's got to be Cruising in Crocs.
Well, I went with the
Cruising
shadow
while kicking
'cause
in
he's
Crocs,
the
yeah.
shadow.
Yeah, but no, Cruising in Crocs sounds so much better.
But they're super up for an episode where, like, we kind of give them tips on what Crocs to get.
Yeah,
So
we could do that.
They're really excited about it. And I think
Well,
it was just fun.
you happened to go away the same day as Alex was gone all week
Oh, I don't know.
because we were like, we're doing in our little 30.1
30.5.
30.5.
So 30 and a half.
30 and a half.
Yeah, we did mention that Alex was going to be back on.
And we're like, oh, we're going to have Alex back on. And then
to explain about the
Alex
the giant croc.
He comes back tomorrow.
Alex goes, oh, I'm going away. We're like, well, Nick will be back. So
I'm sure Alex gave you a full 1 year's notice on that one. Oh,
I did actually get notice on that one.
Alex's chops.
I did actually get notice on that one.
But yeah, so very cool. We had 4 stops. It was Orlando, Nassau, Coco Cay, and then Haiti. And out of all of them, Haiti was our last stop. It was Labadee is the name of the part of it. Awesome. Just unbelievably perfect setup. We had a cabana. We were in the ocean right next to the border edge of the property, so no one else was on the other side of us. We had multiple like floaties and things where we could lay in the pool, and the weather was excellent. There was a breeze, and we were in the water probably 4 hours, just not getting out of the ocean. It was awesome. And they're bringing the food and the drink right to the water.
Oh.
Listen, adults.
Well, we were here working. We were
I was there working.
We were here working.
That's such a good stuff. We had the...
One day we'll get to have a vacation like that.
Well, I was chatting with Rob, and I was like, we should do a PPK cruise. Like, even if it's like a 5-dayer. It doesn't have to be long. 4-dayer, 5-dayer. PPK.
So we're shutting the school down to all go on a cruise.
Hey, we could literally do it over the week. Yeah, we could literally do it over the week that we're closed.
Right away. We said 4th of July week. Or if you don't care about the temperature as much, you just want to get away, we could do it over Christmas break. You know what I mean?
Christmas break, I feel like would be tougher.
Yeah, because you have
a lot of family, and that's family time too.
Yeah. But the 4th of July,
you know, 4th of July,
it's something to explore.
You know,
it's something to explore.
Maybe when the school actually breaks $1 million, we could
we'll make that
$1 million followers.
We'll
set it
followers.
Up. We're gonna buy it.
We're gonna buy
it for everybody.
Oh yeah, Kickin In Crocs cruise.
We'll sponsor.
Crocs cruise.
We'll sponsor
a Crocs cruise.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
I like it.
Did you happen to watch any fights when you were on the seas?
I wanted to.
I assume there was some kind of television of some sort.
So here's the crazy thing. I wanted to watch the Diaz versus Paul fight, which was a joke. There were
UFC fights on that day.
Yeah, there were good fights, exactly. No, here's the crazy thing, and it still caught me, but all the bars wouldn't play. They play every other sport but combat because it wasn't considered family friendly. I'm like, that is
good
really
point.
I mean, I can see.
You would tell me.
I can see.
We'll replay it at 11.
I can see that, but not like So ONE FC did a card, and they still, man, holy cow, that's still one of my that's quickly becoming one of my favorite organizations.
Or are they like the NCAA of fighting? Like so they're like the college kids before.
No.
I wouldn't consider that.
No. ONE FC has some very, very good fights. Mighty Mouse fights ONE FC.
Oh yeah, you're right. I forgot you told me that.
ONE FC has some very good fighters. Actually, it's the largest fight or technically the largest fight organization in the world globally because they're popular in most Asian countries. So where like the UFC is very big in like America, Arab nations, because UAE and
the guy that owns it. The guy that owns ONE FC is Asian. Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So that would definitely be why.
It's very, very big, but I love the mix of disciplines. So they do. So my boy Mikey Musumeci fought
multi.
Okay.
So good.
And how do you do?
Oh, he won. Okay. He won by tap out.
Now those are pay-per-view as well, or those are?
No, it's free on Amazon Prime. If you have a Prime account,
they have a deal with Amazon Prime where if you have a Prime account, you can
just watch it. And it doesn't have to be like one of their premier accounts at Prime, like the highest level.
You have Amazon Prime.
Okay. I think it'll probably get to that down the line where eventually, if it gets that big, and they might make it.
One of the things I like about it too is that it's on a little bit earlier, so like you're wrapping up the fight card earlier, so it's not like 2 a.m.
What time does it start?
Let's see. It started. I think they did a small undercard, but I think it was like 8 to 10.
Oh, that's great.
That is really good.
8
Except,
10,
I mean,
8
like
to 11,
I was about to say, like
8 to 11.
Would we be able to because I know they do their pay-per-views on Fridays.
They do it on Fridays. Yeah.
So like, would we be? I was like, would we be able to do that?
8 to 11.
After, would we be able to get there in time? But
maybe. I mean,
we'd have to. Dart out
you could always start it a little bit late, like because you
guys get there by 9.
No, because it's Prime. You can watch it.
Like that part of it.
You can go back and watch it whenever.
That's right. Yeah, you could just rewind it. That's true.
Like when you hit the button too, it'll tell you like, do you want to watch it live or do you want to start it from the beginning?
Well, I would love to sit down and watch the next card.
But what they do is like So the main event of this one was a kickboxing match, not an
Okay.
MMA match.
Yeah,
And
they
it was
do, like,
two of the
different main
best
events.
strikers in the world. And it was a great kickboxing match, like just really top notch kickboxing.
Oh, that's cool.
And there's only I think 2 MMA fights on the card, and then 2 MMA fights.
They do a good job of
2 Muay Thai
separating
fights,
out the
and then
disciplines, doing all of
one kickboxing fight. So obviously the Thai rules are different than the kickboxing rules. So there's small variations in the
them. And then they have the jiu-jitsu matches.
and then the 1 10-minute round in the jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
And
mixed
Musameshi
styles,
hit
yeah.
his
It's really cool when you get like to see a whole bunch of different fight disciplines in one fight card.
Yeah.
Like with UFC, it's just MMA,
You may or may
MMA,
not see
MMA.
it. Yeah.
Depending. With UFC,
But it
you
forces
could
you
see
to be well-rounded.
Exactly.
Now you have to be because you're going to definitely partake in that style.
Well,
in the match.
well,
yeah.
no, you don't
Unless
have
you
to.
win in the first prior round.
No, in the UFC, you have to. No, the way you just compete in whatever you want to compete in. So, like, if I'm a
They could change
kickboxer, I
it if
can
they
just
wanted
compete in kickboxing.
Oh, okay.
They have
so
like
the
a kick-
rounds don't have to
they're
change.
like
The
divisions.
rounds don't change. That's only in the special cases they do that.
Yeah.
I thought that was all the
no,
fights.
No, that was
no,
just
no.
for super
They
fights.
literally do. This fight will be a jiu-jitsu match. Stop.
I would love.
This fight will be a kickboxing match. Stop. They did
Oh,
one.
that's
They did
cool.
one. Only one fight was Mighty Mouse when he fought Ratatong, and they fought
The hybrid
first
rules.
round.
And they had the hybrid
Muay
rules. You were telling
Thai,
me about that. Yeah, that's why I said it.
second round MMA.
Yes.
That was a special thing just for that fight.
Let me tell you, I would love to
Got it.
see them do a fight, like a super fight, where they had all of it. Where they had MMA, Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu. Have that be like a 3-round thing. You do MMA 1 round, you do Muay Thai 1 round, you do Jiu-Jitsu.
Did
for
you
another
follow?
round.
Did you follow what's going on with Mighty Mouse right now?
Yes, I did. I actually had it written down as a topic that we're doing. Go ahead,
What's
you can
happening?
say it. You can say it.
So there's a bodybuilder that was on the podcast talking like
Bradley Martin,
that's his name, and he was talking about how
famous YouTuber, fitness.
He's a YouTuber
industry.
fitness guy, big guy. He's like 220, 250.
Oh,
240? He's a big-
I
he's a
don't
big-
know.
he's
He's
heavy.
a big dude. He's a big dude. You know, he's one of those big muscle head dudes. And he gives good like lifting, weightlifting,
Yeah,
building
Yeah.
body mass.
He knows how to
advice.
bodybuild.
but he was
knows what he's
talking.
doing.
He was saying that it doesn't matter what Mighty Mouse knows. I don't even know how it came up, but he was talking about how it doesn't matter what Mighty Mouse knows. He threw
He
him
was-
up on the ground.
He was talking about. He was talking to another fighter about.
I think he was talking to Brendan Schaub.
This is like
I
a
forget which
Gracie
fighter it was.
repeat against the bodybuilder when he first came into the televised scene, where the bodybuilder challenged him.
Well,
and
he was
had him
talking to
down
Brendan
in no time.
Schaub. It was
that
Schaub's
the fighter?
podcast. Yeah.
Okay, he was talking to him, and I think he asked him. I think Bradley Martin stood up as like, was it this guy? It might have been a different guy because I feel like it was on Bradley Martin's own podcast.
It
that
might
this
have
first
been.
conversation
It might
came
have been.
up.
But
Now, was he
Schaub brought it up.
challenged? Was he challenged on that statement though?
Well, he
Yes.
asked the fighter.
Good.
He had a fighter on his podcast. I'm pretty sure that's the clip that I saw. And he asked the fighter, "Do you think that you could take me in a street fight, not
The
MMA match?"
bodybuilder said that.
Bradley Martin said that. He asked him like, "You and me get into a street fight. What is your confidence level of you winning that exchange?"
Okay.
And the guy said, "Bro." He said, "Listen, street fights are different from MMA matches. In MMA matches, there's rules to protect you. In a street fight, I'm, obviously using colorful language and stuff. I'm messing you up." And Brad Martin said, "Really?" Like, and it wasn't like malicious or like.
So then, how did
taunting in
Mighty
any
Mouse
way.
get pulled into it?
That's a good question. I know that
I'm
Dave,
not
I
exactly
saw him
sure
talking
how
about
he
it
got
one day.
pulled in, but he was talking about because the guy was talking about how he doesn't think jujitsu works, and like
It's got
there's
its
no way you're
place.
gonna be able to. He's like, I'll just tackle you, run through you.
He's
with my
talking about
size and my
street
strength.
street fights specifically is what
So,
this guy's
It
talking
somehow
about.
came up to Mighty Mouse, and
Somehow, we'll have to look it up.
he talked about rolling with him, and naturally got back to Mighty Mouse.
Yeah.
And Brendan Schaub, I know Brendan Schaub's involved because Brendan Schaub's the one that reached out to Mighty Mouse,
Probably.
and
I mean, a straight up tackle, that's one thing, but you're saying you want to roll,
So they're-
like
they're-
legitimately roll?
so they're setting it up where Mighty Mouse is gonna roll. And Mighty Mouse is like our size, and this guy's like a big dude.
Yeah.
But Mighty Mouse says, "I'm gonna go down there, I'm gonna roll him up." It's like, let's go,
Well, here's the
Yeah.
thing, though, and you and I have.
let's go.
We've been in these before, right? We've been with guys that are bigger. The bigger risk, especially if you're not an experienced big guy, and he's a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
All those tendons are tight.
Not to mention,
Like,
I don't know. We don't
good
know
luck.
what his cardio level is. Like, if Mighty
Yeah.
Mouse can just weather a storm for like the first 20 seconds.
It's gonna be interesting.
I mean, the only thing he's got, and hopefully they make that an illegal move, right? Is the slam, like they pick him up. Hopefully they don't let that happen.
There was
But even if they did, Mighty Mouse is unbelievably experienced enough to let go and then re-engage if he has to.
Readjust, yeah.
Yeah, I just think Mighty Mouse is gonna roll him up. I think he's underestimating.
Is that going to be on TV anymore? Or is that gonna
No.
be on YouTube?
So that's funny because
Oh,
so Henry Cejudo
yeah.
and Mighty Mouse just started doing a podcast.
They called it the Goat Cast.
And
Okay,
they
cool.
talked about it on
The
there.
Goat Cast.
And
with
the
Mighty
first
and
time
Triple
it came up, Triple C was like, he's like, yeah, that's nice. You gotta get paid for this. How are you gonna make this?
Yeah, you
profitable?
need to make money off of this.
We gotta televise it. We gotta stream this. How we're gonna you gotta make money off of this.
Yeah.
Like,
They
don't
could
just go down
totally-
for ego. Because Mighty Mouse is like, I was just gonna go down for some fun. And he's like, no, you gotta get paid for this.
See, that's
Yeah,
the
especially
businessman
'cause
mindset of Henry
From a
Cejudo.
fighting
you mind,
perspective,
I do.
Mighty Mouse is the experienced person, so he's more well known than the bodybuilder. So it's like, don't do any favors.
Yeah.
Get
Yeah.
in there and make some dollars.
Yeah, man, for real. Like,
Jake
plus-
Paul it. Just make some money.
Okay.
out of it.
Oh yeah, Jake Paul. That was another topic that I wanted to talk about
Well-
today. We could,
Well, I did watch SummerSlam.
you watched SummerSlam, but Dave
Yes.
didn't watch SummerSlam.
So
though,
well, I wanted to go backwards. So there's this has been a string of fights. So there were fights on the night my wife went into labor,
Yep.
Yep, we talked about
which
that.
I got to watch all those. Then
Dave's like, cross your leg.
but there was also
no baby time.
Earl Spence and Crawford
Okay.
boxed.
Oh wow.
Were two crazy good boxers, so that happened. And then there was the ONE FC card. There was, and
There
then
was a lot. There was a lot of.
there was a
fights
lot.
And you didn't get into
And then
any
there
of his
was-
action, Steve?
No,
No,
was
no,
during
this,
baby
this
time.
Was, yeah, so this
Oh,
was
got
this
it.
was this was baby
Got it.
time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I stayed out of it.
there was also the Diaz. Let's get into
Jake
the
Paul
Diaz,
Diaz?
Jake Paul
Yeah.
thing, because then there's also
I didn't bother buying the pay-per-view. I just watched clips of it.
Me too.
yeah.
I just went on YouTube and just watched.
he
little
did
highlight reels of
guillotine
it.
choke him
He
at
did.
one point.
Diaz literally
And he,
guillotine choked him.
And he knee barred. Was it a knee bar? He dropped for something that he was joking about.
But there, so what do you guys? You know, the question that's always brought up, right? Did he throw the fight, or did he even try to properly fight him?
It looked like, I'm gonna be honest. I mean, did it look like he was trying to like actually hit him as hard as he could? Yeah. He was going for it, but you could tell that Diaz didn't care if he won or lost. He didn't have that fire of like, I want to beat this guy. Like, he was literally just in there for fun. Like, there were moments where he faked like wobbling after Jake hit him. He was like, oh, he got me. Like, no. And then like, came back after him, was like, come on, hit me again. That type of thing.
But he's never been. I mean,
It
yes,
is-
he's a striker, and he's a jiu-jitsu guy through and through.
First and
Diaz.
foremost,
That's
yeah.
what he is first and foremost.
Yeah.
So, but what I do like is that they're going to fight in MMA.
Has that been agreed to?
Nothing's been made official yet. They both said they want to do
They
it.
both said they want to do it.
Is-
Nothing's been
They
made
talked
official
about
yet.
it in the
Dana
ring.
gonna
No.
honor it?
PFL.
No, yeah, this would be separate.
It would be in the
Okay.
PFL deal. I mean, technically, I don't even think Diaz is still contracted with the UFC.
No, his contract is up. His
Yeah.
fight against
Oh.
Ferguson was his last
Yeah, that
UFC
was it.
contract.
Okay, 'cause I thought Dana said that he was. I guess he didn't mention a contract. He said more power to him of it as well.
Yeah, no, I'm fairly certain that was his last. He's a free agent because otherwise he wouldn't have been able to do this boxing thing.
Yeah.
Because they don't let anybody unless
Well,
your name
unless
unless your
you're
name
Conor
ends in
McGregor.
McGregor.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say, I'm like, wait a minute, he was in contract still.
Yeah, unless your name
Um,
ends in McGregor, they don't let anybody.
That was also against the biggest name in boxing since Muhammad
Yeah.
Ali and Mike Tyson.
Yep.
So.
But one of the Paul brothers got to fight him too. So he has
Yeah,
no
that's true.
experience
That's very true.
at all.
Very true.
Who's doing a phenomenal job in wrestling right now? By the way,
Oh,
You-
pro
you-
wrestling, yeah.
You know,
WWE.
people give them garbage. They pick their opponents well, the Paul brothers.
and they're in great
But
shape.
they're better boxers than people give them credit for.
They're very naturally athletically talented. Are they on the level of these pro fighters?
he-
No, they're not.
Yeah, but
But
here's the thing: Jake
mean-
Paul lost against Nick Fury's brother, and
Nick,
it was
Nick
Fury.
Fury.
Nick Fury. I said it. And
Yeah, it was a
I
scroll.
didn't know
though.
Nick
He was
Fury
a-
had a
he was
brother.
he was a
He
scroll. though,
was-
so.
He was a
he
scroll.
transformed
oh,
as
God.
soon as he got hit with the haymaker.
Dak Nabbit.
No, they
Tyson Fury, and let me say, he got beat on decision. So
Yeah, no, he
that's
held
a
his
good
own.
fight
He held his own. I mean,
against
admittedly,
a fighter.
admittedly, he's not the best professional boxer. He's not his brother, and he's still up and coming as well.
Yeah.
But he's if he just entered into boxing and he didn't have his whole YouTube career and it was just coming in as a boxer, people go, "Oh, he's a pretty good amateur, working his way up, like
Oh, without a doubt.
he's up and coming."
Yeah.
But because he has the
But that
whole
doesn't
persona,
make money. the way he does now.
Well, yeah, I think
and he does keep choosing MMA fighters.
he does,
Yeah.
but I think that has just become his stigma now.
Well, the
it's
rumor
working for him,
is
it's working
that-
for him.
and proud of him for doing it. Nate made more in that fight than he's made in his
Yeah.
career.
Yeah.
Right. So at the end of the day, why wouldn't you sign that contract?
Exactly.
What frustrates me though is like you'll get people like we have a student. I go back and forth. He's big into fighting, so he cross trains. He does martial arts with us, and he also has a boxing coach, and he does
Oh, cool.
boxing. And we go back and forth. He's like, he's so into boxing as a striking art. He's like, oh, it's the best strike. It's the best striking. He's like, look, anytime an MMA guy sets the boxing, they get killed. I'm like,
And anytime a boxing guy goes
I'm
into
like,
MMA,
but
they get taken down.
you don't see boxers go into MMA because they all know better. Don't enter that realm
Yeah, don't even try it.
because boxing is. I don't want to box a boxer. I would never box a boxer. Boxers are amazing.
No, yeah, I ain't gonna try to
But
head movement you.
It's a sport that's limited to the rule set of two limbs, where if you take the leg kicks into account now, and if you take knees and elbows and takedowns and clinch work, and that's
That's
where
why you have very few, if any, boxers going the other way, sport-wise.
you have a couple.
smarter.
So Terrence Crawford, who just fought and won, he beat Spence. This video is him wrestling, and he looks good wrestling.
Right,
He looks
nice.
pretty good wrestling. I'd be interested, but leg kicks, man, you gotta.
Well, I still think like the old school, like Kimbo Slice, right? Who was known for being a brawler, not a boxer. I get it, very different, but still 90% upper body. It was a whirlwind of change for him to have to compete and grapple.
And when you get into a street altercation, I mean, boxers are good, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Boxers are good. I'd never discount a boxer. But I'm saying if you're taking somebody into their rule set.
Yeah.
That's like taking a basketball player to play tennis. It's
But
not
even
the
like
same
a boxer
thing.
against
No one knows the same thing.
like a high-end boxer against a high-end wrestler. Good luck if they get their arms around you, right?
Yeah,
Because
well,
that's
that's the
their first
problem.
move slams you to the ground and ties you
That's the problem.
up. Grappling
Yep.
very similar, or jiu-jitsu very similar, right? A little bit less bulldog into it, but they'll wrap you up pretty good. Good luck.
Yeah, no, a little bit of everything these days. I think.
I agree.
I think that's the.
Well, this actually is a pretty good segue into another topic that I wanted to talk about.
I'll go for it.
Dana White looking for a fight just
Came back. I didn't watch the episode yet, but
I
it did
watched
just come
it.
back.
I watched it.
Who's with
So
him?
I won't give. It's still Matt Sarah
Yeah,
and Dean
still
Thomas.
Sarah.
Same cast, and it
Sarah's
starts
hilarious.
off.
I'm
It
sorry.
starts off. You're gonna love the way that it starts off. I'm not gonna tell you how, but like literally the opening line, you're like,
On my agenda to watch tonight, actually.
yeah, you have to watch
I have it
it.
on my
It's really good.
queue.
But I will say this: that they did something that I don't think they've done before on Looking for a Fight. They went to a boxing match as well.
Oh no, they haven't done that.
They went
no.
to a boxing match and they went to an MMA fight. They had that on the same episode.
Well, Dana
they
White
went
was
to,
a boxer.
Dana White was a boxer, and that's where it came from. They literally, this episode is in Boston, his hometown.
Oh, that's cool.
He grew up in Boston. He started
There you
boxing in
go.
Boston. So he went back to his old boxing gym, and he knew of like an up-and-comer guy that was like a super talented, someone from Ireland, an Irish kid.
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly what his name was. I just remember his first name was Connor. But no, it was Colin. I'm sorry, it was Colin. Colin something. But the kid was really, really talented, and that he was amateur boxer starting to build up his way into the limelight. So they went to watch his boxing match. Yeah, and I thought that was really cool. That on Looking for a Fight, they started to.
I'm excited
into a
for
different
Looking for a
realm.
Fight because I always like that format, and I like the.
It
I like
was
the
a
cast
really
of
good.
characters.
The episode was
Matt
so
Sarah
good.
has got to be one of my favorite
He's so funny.
guys
Oh,
in martial
man.
arts because like you
Yeah,
watch him
man.
like I don't know if you follow him on
So
Instagram.
funny.
I
like,
know.
He's crazy funny. Like you see him on these
I've
YouTube
seen-
things,
yeah, I've
any
seen him on some of the
interview he's
YouTube
in,
show.
and he was on Rogan's podcast. He does his own podcast. Or no, he doesn't have his own. Does he? He's a guest on one.
He was a co-host on a podcast.
Yeah,
at
yeah.
some
Oh,
point.
he's
I forget which
co-host.
one it
Yeah,
was.
yeah. But he's just a funny guy. And then, but
He
when
had
you
me laughing so hard.
but when you
this
watch
episode.
him teach,
He's
you
so
watch him
confident.
teach and you watch him run his classes. He's a consummate professional martial
Mm,
artist through and
mhm.
through. Really gives a crap about the students and that they're progressing and that they're doing better. Like he's clearly a guy that just loves what he
he's doing.
does. Like they said that about him wanted Looking for the Fight. Dana White Looking for the Fight episodes,
Mhm.
like many episodes ago, was he's the guy that goes back in the locker room. He doesn't have to, and he goes like so. Somebody loses a fight, he'll go back in the locker room and be like, "No, here's what you did wrong," and he'll take a minute
try
to
this
show him
instead.
what they did, which he doesn't have to do.
No.
He'll
He
never
doesn't
see
have
these
skin in
guys
the
again.
game, yeah.
So I love that guy.
The couple shows and episodes I've seen him on, because I've seen him on some of the podcasts. I definitely have seen him on, the Trying to Find a Fight episodes as well for the first 2 seasons.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is what, season 5?
I don't
know
if
if
they
they
do it
went
in
by
seasons.
seasons.
They just
okay.
do it in
So
episodes.
Earlier. And he was hilarious.
Well,
But
they
they
had
had
the-
those moments where he did go in the backstage with them and talk to them.
Because it started with
Cool.
Nick the Tooth.
Before Dean Thomas.
Yep.
came
Before
along.
Dean Thomas is the better choice.
Oh, I agree.
Nick the Tooth was
No,
cool.
He was good though. Yeah, I was gonna say.
He was cool. He got really mad at Matt Serra though.
Yeah, a couple episodes they got into it.
Well, he talked about it on a podcast.
Oh, did he?
Matt Serra talked about it because he tried his best to avoid the whole thing
Got it.
as best he could.
Mm-hmm.
And then Nick the Tooth was a good jiu-jitsu guy,
But
not.
wasn't he like the purple
Is
belt?
that what it was?
No,
Something
he's a
like
black.
that?
He's a black. Well, he won tournaments
But didn't
and
they
stuff.
fight each other, or they had the scrimmage, right?
So
Kinda said-
They just rolled.
They
It was like
kept-
Yeah,
just
but it
rolled.
was so drastically.
they
different.
kept. Nick the Tooth kept picking at him. He
Yeah.
kept picking at him.
I
Maybe
saw
the
the
first
match.
couple of episodes, he kept saying like, "Oh, we got to decide who's the best jiu-jitsu guy." Like he was
Yeah.
messing with him.
And Matt was so nice, trying to be like. I
And
don't have
Matt
to prove
didn't want to
anything.
wrestle with
Trust
him.
me,
Matt
yeah.
didn't want to wrestle with him at all. And then finally they
See, would have been different if Nick had been like, "Hey, man, we should roll sometime. Like, let's just roll." And instead of being like, "Let's
Yeah,
find
and
who's
he-
better."
and
Like,
Matt
you don't do that.
Matt like crushed him, and he's like, "Oh, it was my honor. It was an honor roll with you." He's like, "That footage can't be used." He didn't want it
But
out
they did
there.
do it, though, yeah.
Yeah,
They did.
and they're like, "No, absolutely not."
Yeah,
You've been
they were
talking it up
definitely
for.
doing it.
It's like
Yeah.
it's absolutely going in the episode. You can't constantly be bringing it up, and then it happens, and then like, no, can't show the footage.
And it was good. It was crazy to see the distance in their experience. Oh my god.
Yeah, well, you're talking about like winning local tournaments, which is a spectacular thing, but far better than me.
Yeah.
But-
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
then
against the guy that
a global champion. Right?
yeah, that's winning against the world. So you're like levels. Just-
Yeah. There's a reason. There's a reason.
yeah,
why there's
I
levels.
won
It's
my
cute.
local tournament. Okay, I beat the best in the world.
Yeah, exactly. I was state
Where-
champion.
where-
That's
where-
great. I was global champion.
They say that every time
that?
like people roll with like an Olympic
Yep.
wrestler, and you're like, oh right. These guys are. on
This is
another
why they
level.
go
Well,
to the Olympics.
There were a couple guys that I knew from banking years ago. That one of them owns a karate squad that I mentioned before in Long Island. Another one is a coach for a wrestling school in Brooklyn. No, I'm sorry, the Bronx. Carlos Domo, great guy, but he used to compete for the United States wrestling national team all over the world.
Right.
And his big move was the blast double, which is a double leg takedown, but you're starting with the chest.
Basically, spear tackling him.
It's not. There's no shoulder at all. It's
Yeah.
for it. So he showed me some YouTube videos, and he's like Master Paul size. Like he's not a little guy.
Yeah,
big
man.
dude. So I'm like, all I see is his head going through a guy. Like he came
There-
in like
there-
this would be in the background going, dude.
We just had a-
it was a monster.
We just
move
had a kid.
coming out of his skill set.
We just had a kid from Ocean County. Was he from Ocean County? Wrestling just won like the world championship.
Oh, nice.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure that there was
Why
a
don't you
wrestler from Ocean
look it up?
County.
Oh, the background on his iPad was the baby.
Well, yeah, my lock
It was just
screen.
a baby.
My
It's
lock
just
screen.
some
It's a
random
filler
baby.
paper.
No,
Yeah,
no,
some
but-
random
but-
baby.
I still have the Kickin' In Crocs logo. It's the.
There's yeah.
You gotta
You have to
blend. You
edit
gotta
where
blend
he's
the things that are
holding the
important to
baby.
you. Let's see,
Like,
Ocean
has the hand up here,
County.
The baby is in the palm of his hand. I've got him covered.
Nah, this one I'm just straight up uploading. No
Well, why
fancy.
is it
Yeah.
this? I did.
Yeah.
So we did watch SummerSlam.
We did.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Yep. This Ocean County's Kenny returns home as World Wrestling Champion
Nice.
4 days ago.
Very cool.
Yeah, look at this
Hey,
kid.
bring it home for the Ocean County.
Yeah, for Ocean County.
Junior division. How old
Hey.
is he?
He's from Bayville, the Bayville section of Berkeley Township.
Bayville. That's actually not that far.
How old is he? Like, is this the juniors? He looks like he's 15.
Yeah, I mean, he's a kid.
Oh,
5'2" Kenny.
Kids could be from
Kid is a broad.
years old to
Matt,
18,
numerous
yeah.
states
So
include
it's a
Ohio,
very, very
Michigan,
large
North
umbrella.
Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. Yeah, he came back like world champion.
That's cool.
That is really cool.
That's pretty cool. Competing first day of men's freestyle finals.
The kid, one of the guys that we were hanging out with in the cruise, right? The 16-year-old is actually the number 2 swimmer in Italy.
Nice.
So it was really interesting because he wasn't,
Is Italy good at
so
swimming?
And
Which
he-
is about the
he
4th
won-
ranked
yeah.
juvenile.
No, which is good because he went against like they travel within Europe, and he's won in Switzerland and Spain, a couple of other places, which is really cool. But again, you talk to him as like a kid until you see him in the ocean and perfect form and gone like a torpedo. I'm like, oh, there it is.
Yeah. They just, I saw that came up on my Facebook feed. Those things come up, and I was like, wow, kid from Ocean County. I forget, like, Ocean County takes their wrestling seriously, and you forget that, like, it's a big wrestling community.
Oh, big time. Oh,
Wrestling
really
and
is.
baseball.
Well, even it was interesting. I didn't know West Long Branch, where my cousin grew up. I didn't know they had wrestling was a big deal. It was a huge deal. The West Long Branch wrestling team was a really big deal.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, it was neat to see.
New Jersey's not no.
They're no slouch for wrestling.
Oh,
That's it. They
sir.
throw him out because I remember when he went to the national, competition for the state championships. Man, there was real talent down there. It was wild just seeing the skill set.
Not to change the subject, but it's still in line with the fighting. And other fighting news, Karate Combat just started a new thing too.
The Kumite.
The Kumite.
Is that
I have
still?
yet to watch it.
I haven't watched it yet either.
Is that
but
What
different
exactly
than
is
the
it?
half bowl?
So
fighting?
I
You know what I'm
had
talking
to
about when I say
read.
the half bowl thing.
I had to read about
Yeah,
it
no.
because I was like, "What is this?" And it's they started off with amateurs,
Okay.
so non-pros, amateurs. So they have the shin guards on,
Okay.
which they don't normally wear in the
Is
Karate
it
Combat.
like the Ultimate Fighter or like Dana White's
So
Contender Series?
it's a contender series.
Okay.
So if
okay.
you read the description of Kumite, it is a contender series, but they're also going to experiment with different rule sets.
Okay.
So sometimes it'll be amateurs, sometimes it'll be pros,
Wow.
but they're going to experiment with different rule sets, and that's where they're
Okay.
going to try out different things.
Cool.
Nice.
There, but it's not streamed like how they
the
stream
shows
the
are.
live
Yeah, yeah.
events.
It's exclusively on YouTube.
It's a YouTube thing.
Oh,
no.
so
So,
now do you
like-
have to have YouTube.
No, it's regular YouTube.
Oh, okay.
They
Wow.
upload it like a contender series.
I love that when
but
major organizations give stuff away for free.
It doesn't happen often enough. That's
No,
awesome.
not at
That's
all.
awesome they're doing.
So I meant to watch first. I haven't watched it yet, but
But what's the fighting? So I know they're gonna change things and try things out.
it's
but
all
what's the
still karate
general-
based. It's all still
But
karate based.
do you think it's like no contact to the head still? Right.
I don't know. I'd have to read. I have to see what the first episode's about. I mean, no,
Is
they
it
do.
regular?
They do contact to the head in Karate Combat.
Is it only? I thought they couldn't do certain moves to the head at all.
No, Karate Combat. They
You're
could do.
are you thinking of point fighting?
You think like Kyokushin?
Yeah, like point fighting in the
Um,
Olympics.
I thought Karate Combat was the same thing.
No,
I've never
Karate
heard about
Combat you can do.
Ooh.
You can do
It's
pretty
as
much
close to like MMA rules as possible.
right. You just can't. There's no grappling.
No grappling.
that. Okay.
You can do
So
a
if someone's
takedown.
down, you have to let them up.
You can do a takedown. You're allowed
5 seconds.
5 seconds of ground and pound.
Okay.
No
Okay.
submissions.
So we don't know if this is similar to that yet.
I think
I
the
think
first
this is
episode
just they're
was,
trying
but
stuff out.
Okay. Cool.
it's like a
Listen,
contender series
put 'em
type.
on there.
But no, they just you can't do submissions or anything like that. But you're allowed to do takedowns, and so you can take your person down, and you get 5 seconds of ground and pound, and it's done.
Yeah.
But you're not grappling though. There's no submissions. You can't win by a tap out or.
Yeah, you're not spending too much time switching
No.
positions. You just
No,
throw
no,
a
no,
couple
no.
punches to get out of there. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think of the Wonderboy controversy?
Um,
Do you know the Wonderboy controversy?
I
You
know
caught
a
me
little
on this
bit
one.
about it. I know that
It's the first time he's been
it's-
involved in like a controversial.
Yeah.
I know. What is it? He was too nice to like the ice cream vendor.
No. So what
Not
happened was, so
exactly.
he was supposed to fight in that last UFC.
Yeah, we
card.
talked about that. Yep.
His opponent missed weight.
They had to
So-
cancel.
So they always give you the option to fight if you
A
want.
backup,
If you
like
want,
someone
no.
else.
They give you two options. You can still fight that same guy,
even though he missed weight.
even though he missed weight.
Okay,
So
yeah.
and you get half of his purse.
Okay.
So you take half of his money.
you get more
Okay.
money.
They'll try and find you an opponent,
Another opponent.
a replacement opponent, or you don't have to fight at all. Wonderboy didn't want. He's like, look, this guy missed weight. The last time. He's been in the situation before. The last time somebody missed weight was when he fought Darren Till. Till missed weight. He ended up losing a decision, which I don't think he lost, but he lost the decision. And nobody remembers that you missed weight.
Exactly.
So
The win is the win.
his point
loss
was
is the loss.
at his point in the rankings in his career, he's 40 years old.
He's like, I'm not
He's,
making the
he's
sacrifice.
number 5 in the world.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like, so I go out there. I either fight this guy now that didn't make weight,
And he's
and
heavier
then
than
if he beats me, he takes my spot, and then it's not good for my career at my age and at my point.
Yep.
Or you give me somebody spur of the moment, a
Well, I'm not ready for it.
last minute opponent where
Yeah, or you're not ready. For
I
it.
haven't prepared for this person. Again, putting my number on the line, because you're
Yeah.
you're putting your number 5
Yep.
spot in the world. So he's like, I'm not gonna do it, right? But he had made a comment. He still expected to get his show money. because he did his job. He showed up.
He trained. He prepared.
He
for the
trained.
fight.
He prepared.
He did everything right.
He made weight. But Dana White had come out during the
Said,
press
I gave
conference
you two
and
options to fight.
said, "Well, I gave you this and this. You had options." He's like, "You're paid to fight.
So
You're
here's
not,
my question:
You're not paid for."
Has anyone ever gotten the purse not
So
fighting?
according to Dana, he's like, "What?" He's like, "We always work behind the scenes. We'll pay for the camp. Like, if you need to."
You're not going to make the full purse.
He
'Cause
says
I
we
know-
always take care of behind the scenes, but you get paid to fight. You don't get paid. He's like, if you can't pay off your camp, like your coaches, your this, your
We'll
that.
help you with that.
He's like, we always take care of behind the scenes. But what I don't like is, what do you mean you take care of behind the scenes? Just tell people what you're doing.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
and I get it
there's
because they're trying to say,
well, they don't. When you're saying I take care of behind the scenes, it means I don't want to make it public.
Yep.
Which means I can choose when to do it or not to do it.
right. But here's the thing, and I somewhat
I
agree
guess.
with what they, like Wonderboy's and his team's assessment. And a lot of fighters were like chiming in, like, good decision, way to go. There's always those one or two idiots that are
But now,
like,
if he loses,
you should have fought
here's my
because it was
thing.
only 3 pounds.
If
But
he
everybody's like, it's not
lost-
3 pounds.
But if he
It's
lost, right? Do you get a purse even when you?
yeah, oh yeah.
You do.
So could it have been? Hey, we'll pay you the purse as if you didn't. You lost, but they won't get any money.
No.
Yeah.
They're
Okay.
very clear. He was very clear. Dana White's words were, "That's not how that works. You don't get paid to not fight."
Yep.
Because then the idea is that people would just pull out of fights.
And I guess I wonder what
But-
it is in the contract too, right?
Well,
So,
that's what it would have to go back to. But
yeah.
I think
Because it's
that-
got to have some kind of verbiage
but you
on. They
had-
don't make weight. You don't choose one of these options.
But you
you're not
had
getting
so
paid.
many.
It's
You
gotta
had
be in
so many fighters chiming in. Like you had your keyboard warriors that was like, "Oh, he should have fought. He wimped out. Whatever." They're not in his shoes, but a bunch of actual professional fighters were chiming in, going like, "Yeah, it's about like somebody's got to do something because there's really, what's your penalty for missing weight?
Nothing.
You lose half your purse. Okay, but you miss weight.
And you
The other guy takes the fight. If you win that fight, nobody goes, "Oh, well, that's because
It's because he missed weight.
he missed weight or, he had an advantage." All they know is that you won that fight. So
Yep.
if you're fighting somebody above you in the rankings, you take a spot.
Yep.
So you've now essentially not done the work as far as cutting the weight and taking the win. And he's like, "I don't want to do that."
Exactly.
So
That's
it'll be
a tough
interesting
one.
though.
That's a tough
Because
one.
I do think Dana White's a little vindictive, and I see this as like when Wonderboy's contract's up, they're gonna be like, "See you later, buddy."
But I also think
Possible.
the simplest way is bring the contract out. If it says in the contract that there's no way that's not covered in the contract. It's a regular.
I'm
thing.
sure it's
It's
covered
got
there
to be in
somewhere.
there. And if it says very cleanly, this is the only thing that's tricky is that you said again. He made that comment behind the table. We take care of this. Whatever it was behind the
Yeah.
curtain. Behind the curtain. Behind the curtain means it wasn't on the contract. Because if it's in the contract, you're not doing anything behind the curtain. You're doing what the hell the contract says.
It's just interesting that
Like,
became a
that's-
controversial.
Yeah.
Like he mentioned, he hopes he still gets his show money, and like
Yeah.
I mean, who wouldn't? Yeah, those training camps. And again, we've talked to people multiple times in the before. They are really strenuous.
Well,
It's
and
a
it
lot
becomes,
of work
are you
and
paid-
expensive.
are you paid for the fight night, or are you paid for all the training that leads up to that fight night? And that's where it gets
And
tricky.
the problem is, so you pay me for the training, great. So basically, for the last 6 months, I made no money because you covered my losses, but I didn't make any money.
Yeah.
So I just that 6 months is still gone. It's still
Yeah. And there's
Still
numerous
wasted time. You can't
Yeah.
get back.
there's numerous examples, not just Wonderboy, but there's numerous examples of people taking the fight where somebody missed weight,
Yep.
and then losing, and then essentially,
And then
They
losing
lose
their
their
spot
spots.
because of it. Yeah.
because then that gets the hype going. And you're like,
on that new
"Oh."
person. Yep.
It was just interesting watching like, it's, again, the most friendly controversy. He's still
I don't even know if you can call it a controversy.
But
It's
I
really just
get it.
buzz.
At 40, I hate to say it, you're not in your prime. You don't have that many fights left.
No,
You only have
no.
maybe 6 more fights left.
yeah, and he wants at least one more title shot, and you're not
Yeah.
going to get it
Oh,
if you
really?
lose.
Yeah.
Well, that's
I mean,
his
of course,
goal.
Why would
He's still in it. Yeah. No, he's
why
still in that
wouldn't
title
you
hunt.
fight
I mean, he's
for the
number
title?
5 in the world, so it's
He's still up there.
Whatever happened to Ultimate Fighter? Is it done?
No, it's still going.
It's still going. I haven't watched an episode yet. I'm still not
Yeah.
interested in the. I like Mike Chandler a lot. I hate Conor McGregor.
Then are they going to fight?
No,
Not
no,
yet
they're going
anymore.
back and forth
Who
on
cares?
it. They will fight. They won't fight. They're gonna fight. They're not gonna fight. McGregor calls out everybody else under the sun, and he says the
Yeah.
Chandler fight doesn't make sense. But the whole season was built on you're gonna fight
Why doesn't it just make it happen? At this point, he hasn't won a match in forever, so any match makes sense for him.
Yeah.
Because he hasn't won at all. I hate to say it, but McGregor is now 100% a hype of his name, but he's not winning anymore.
No.
And God bless the guy. Like, he's done what he needed to do
He's
to get
been
himself in the
successful.
right spot.
No, he's been
You know?
successful. He doesn't have to fight again ever if he doesn't
doesn't.
want to.
If he was a moderate, even above moderate spender, he never has to touch the ring
Never.
in a combat perspective ever again.
Exactly.
You know, he could be a consultant, he could be a part-time coach, he could be a commentator, he could do whatever. I'm sure he could get a job doing almost anything if he wanted to continue to bring money in and not fight.
That goes back. So they wouldn't play on the cruise. That goes back to the conversation we had a while ago where, like, if it was just the combat aspect without the trash talking and the... That's where the kids get in trouble.
Yeah.
And I also think the violence still says something but I can't talk.
Yeah,
I
but you
still
know what they could
think
do?
that
I mean,
the
how
violence
many
has
times-
something to do with it.
How many times have you been to
Maybe.
a bar? How many times have you been to a bar and there's an event on, but the volume's down on that specific event? They could have just done that, right? So you don't hear the trash talk.
Maybe, but I mean, the kids watch the NFL and there's plenty of nonsense that goes on in that avenue.
I'm
Yeah.
with you. I think that at the very least they should have had the fights on later on at night. They were on later on at night. They should have played it because there's a certain time of the day where it's, even on a cruise.
Well, your kid shouldn't be in the bar.
Yeah,
Then.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, like I don't think a
That's
kid
what
should
I'm
be in the
trying to
bar
get
in the
to.
first
You're
place.
doing it at 11
You're
o'clock
in
at
a
night.
bar.
Cards start at 10 p.m.
Yep. Like
Maybe they're
kid
not old enough to
shouldn't be-
handle.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Agreed.
It was a tough one. But anyway, so I ended up missing them and just watching some highlights
That's
the
all
next
right.
day.
That's okay.
Yep.
You're
But I
You
forgiven.
knew you
saw
guys-
water under the bridge at this point.
I knew you guys.
You're forgiven.
You saw
Yes.
water under the cruise ship at this point.
Exactly. Well, I'll tell you, it was really cool on the way out of Bayonne. Because this ship is so massive, it just makes it under the Verrazano Bridge. It's
Wow.
so funny. So everybody's on the top deck waiting, and you hear a big cheer as you make it through the.
Oh, that's
Nice.
good. Well, that's always nice when they have to
Yeah.
cheer. Like,
Cool.
oh,
We did it.
We
In it.
did it. Oh yeah, we made it.
I've been watching Sensei Seth with the Karate
Mhm.
Nerd and Icy Mike,
Cool.
and then they're like the second channel I seen play the chicken game. I'm
Okay.
like, oh, we got to
This
do
is
this.
something
What
we
is
gotta
it?
do now.
How are they applying chicken in this?
You know the squeaky rubber chickens?
Yeah,
They
yeah.
make the noise. They put them at the bottom of their feet. One guy's blindfolded, and you got to try and sneak up and steal a towel. That's
Oh,
like,
but they
on
hear
his
the
waist.
chicken without making the chickens go where you can tell.
And
where
he's
you
got
are.
he's got like one of those foam swords you can swing around.
Okay.
So,
And we have the gigantic bat thing.
All
so
we need
if
is
you get hit, you're
Ooh.
out. But you got to try and get the towel without getting hit. But you have these squeaky chickens.
It's a good one for the Ninja Turtles one.
You have these squeaky. So that would be our stealth challenge.
That could work. That could work. That could work. I like that.
Okay.
We have
Cool.
to get chickens. We gotta
And-
Rubber
get 'em.
chickens, yeah.
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
the rest of the Ninja Turtle stuff. We got to make this happen.
Yeah.
Let's get this video out.
Yeah, we have to talk about how much detail we want to get into these Ninja Turtles. Like, are we just buying sashes?
I was just gonna get the
color,
headbands
or-
and the
yeah, yeah.
weapons, the fake weapons.
And-
That's it.
And you guys obviously you hadn't seen the movie yet, right? We're
No,
all-
not yet,
okay,
no.
okay.
I haven't seen
Has
it
this
yet.
been out already? What, a week?
A week.
About a week now.
Okay.
A week now. And we talked about that last time where
Yep.
I got one little spoiler and on our half is that
Already.
yeah, that Master Splinter learned his techniques from YouTube and the internet, and I'm like, no, no.
That's the one thing that drove me crazy when they had Master
I
Splinter
know.
learning
I
from
know.
like a magazine. In
I
the
don't
sewer.
understand. I don't understand.
Why can't he be Yamato Yoshi? Why does he have to learn it from a comic book or YouTube?
You
Whatever.
can't learn everything on YouTube, kids.
No.
Subscribe to us on YouTube.
And we'll
for
teach you how
tutorials.
to kick in Crocs.
Oh
Which,
my
speaking
God.
of which, it is late,
funny.
and we have some things that we must do. We have some Spartan races
Yes,
to
we
register
do.
for. We have
Okay.
to do
We
because
do.
prices go up tomorrow.
Indeed.
So
Indeed,
we
they
got to
do.
register for these now. So if you guys have not already, make sure you follow us on Instagram and TikTok and Threads at Kickin In Crocs.
That's right. You gotta add that thread in.
KICKIN.in.Crocs. CROCS. Subscribe to us on YouTube to watch the video versions of this podcast. And if you are listening on any of the audio podcast platforms, then you need to give us
5 stars. 5 stars on every single platform.
on every single one.
On it all.
Every single one. Keep on the lookout for our next agility intermediate level video.
It's
we did
coming,
the
I
beginners one.
promise.
There was the basic agility video that already came out. We're going to be doing the intermediate one and an advanced one. And also keep on the lookout for our Ninja Turtles challenges because of the movie that just came out.
Yes.
And our
And,
cruise
yeah.
kicks.
And the Cruise Kicks content will be coming out
Cruising in Crocs.
throughout this week. So, yeah,
No
that's
other
all
way
I
to
got
cruise.
for you guys today. I've been Steve.
Always Dave.
Still Nick.
And you stay kicking, Internet.
Shibuda.